Hey everyone, it's me. I hope you can hear me. I'm here at the Dollar Tree. I need to go in to get two things. And this Dollar Tree is right on our very main road that goes through my town. It's called Highway 78. There's a lot of traffic. But I hope you can hear me. But I am finally, GrannyDee, I'm finally answering your 10 C Crochet Questions. So, have my notebook. And that's what this video is about. Are you tired of seeing me yet? First question, are you a morning star or a night owl? Well, I'm a morning person. I love to get up early. My body just wakes me up between 5 and 6, between 5:30 and 6. My feet are on the floor and I'm already starting my day. Of course, in the morning, I have quite a bit to do as far as with the animals, but now that the time has changed, those chickens, I don't get them out until about 7 o'clock or 7:10, but I have to get their fresh water ready, get their food ready, and then that stray cat that I've been taking care of, she's usually at my door about 6 o'clock that I know of. I mean, I let Monster and Sadie, we go out in my little yard for them to do their morning potty, and the cat is right there waiting for her fresh water and some food. So my morning is pretty busy tending to all that. Someone just pulled up right close to me, and I'm wondering how they're gonna get out when they open their door. After I get my animals taken care of, I do a few chores, and then I sit down and crochet for a little bit if I'm not heading out to a doctor's appointment or to the laundromat or anything on the errands I have to do. I don't know if that answered the question. I don't think it did, because I think the question is more or less, do you crochet in the morning or at night? I crochet anytime. Oh, that was the next question. What is my favorite time to crochet? Anytime that I can is my favorite time. Have I ever attended a crochet event? The only kind of crochet event I've attended would be the local monthly meetups, which you can find our group on Facebook. Even if you don't live here in the Dallas area or even in Texas, you can still join the Facebook group and see what we're up to. It's called Crochet and Knit Addicts of North Dallas, and I'm an admin assistant on that group, so I can approve you. And then we have a weekly meetup group that I've only been to one time, and it's actually closer to me than the monthly one, but I've only made it to the weekly one time, but I do plan to go again. They are nice people, and my friend Rob from Fate, Texas, is very faithful at attending that one. And in fact, this coming Saturday is our monthly meetup over in Richardson, and I will be going, and I'll be bringing those baby blankets to hand over to Nancy Weber so she can get them to the Preston Pregnancy Center. And why aren't those people getting out of their vehicle? Number 4, what crochet items would I suggest making and selling at crafts fairs or online? Well, I've done both. I haven't done a craft fair here in Texas, but I did do a little craft fair one time back home. And of course, the last maybe 2 or 3 years, I've had my website. And so what has sold well for me on my website is blankets and a couple shawls I had made, and hat and scarf sets. And also I sold at one time I couldn't keep up with the orders for the scrubbies, dish scrubbies. I like to make them out of the Red Heart Scrubby yarn. So those have all sold well for me on my website, and I've sell a lot through word of mouth. Back home when I did that little craft fair, I made dishcloths, dish towels, dish towel holders with the dish towel. I made little baby sweaters. I really can't, baby booties. Okay, they're getting out. I can't think of what else I made for that craft fair back home. Okay, do you snack while you crochet? No, not as far as food. I'll drink water, coffee, tea, but I don't eat anything while I crochet. How do I choose the colors for my projects? Well, if it's something that somebody's ordered and they've requested certain colors, well, I go by those colors that they've requested. Otherwise, I just kind of grab up some yarn and make something. I try to make all the colors go together as best as I can. Sometimes I do pick out and make some things with colors you'd never think would go, but people have liked those things. Okay, how do I stay motivated between big crochet projects? Well, if it's something that somebody has ordered, that keeps me very motivated because I'll be making some money. You know, it's an order, so there's some motivation there to get it done. But I'm really ashamed at how many whips and UFOs I have. When I think about it, it can be a little overwhelming because I really need to get it all sorted out. But if I am making something big and it's not an order, but it's a gift, I'm just motivated by thinking of how happy I hope the person will be to receive it. And then if it's a big project and it's not a gift and it hasn't been ordered, but it's something I feel like making to put on my website, well, I'm motivated that hopefully it will sell. So the other person that's left in that vehicle that pulled up close is a young person, and I can see him out of my eye. He's tossing something, so I had to look over to see what he keeps tossing up in the air. If I could only choose 2 colors of yarns, what? I didn't finish writing the rest of the question, but it probably said if I could only choose 2 colors of yarns, what would they be? Maybe. Well, I love all variegated, so one of them would have to be any kind of variegated. And then the other color would be periwinkle. Is my favorite color, and that is hard to find in yarn. I do have 1 or 2 skeins of it, and I've just been hanging on to it because periwinkle is hard to find. So that would be my answer. One color would be any color variegated, and the other color would be periwinkle. Where is my favorite place to crochet? I really like to crochet outside because I love the natural light and I love being outside. That is my favorite place to crochet outside, and I don't do it enough because once I get outside, even if I bring out my crochet and I start crocheting, I either get busy watching my chickens or going in the chicken yard and talking and playing with them, or I get busy trying to do just a little bit of yard work. So it doesn't always happen like it should. Being outside is very good. So that's my favorite place. Now, indoors, my favorite place used to be my added on room until things got moved over to one side when my friend Raul from church came and painted one wall. And then I've just been stacking things in there, that I need to continue to go through and clean out so he can come finish painting. In fact, he just told me again last Sunday to let him know when I'm ready for him to come finish painting. Thank God he hasn't given up on me. He's still willing to come. What crochet projects have I made that I will make again and again and again and again? Just about everything, to tell you the truth, except that virus shawl. I made one in all shades of purple. I think it was a Karen cake. I mean, the colors were beautiful and how they flowed was beautiful. And I made it for my landlord's mother for one of her birthdays. She's in her 80s, and I forget if I made it 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and she just loved it. But I did not like that pattern at all. I know some people, that's all they make. Believe me, I've seen it when they've showed it in videos. And that's wonderful if that's their thing, but I do not think I will ever make the virus shawl again. I don't think so. Maybe, but if I do, it won't be again, and again. It will just be again. So, Granny D, I'm sorry that it's taken me so long to finally answer your questions, and thank you for tagging me. And I guess the rule is whoever watches these Top C crochet questions, if they want to make a video answering, they're more than welcome to, instead of me thinking of people to tag, because I don't know if you've already been tagged. So I just welcome you to answer these if you want to. It's a beautiful day. Did I already tell you that? It's about 58. That sun is shining. There's no wind. The air is nice and cool. And I got a text. We have church tonight. I'm so excited. I just love, getting to go to church. Of course, I have a key and can go anytime, and I do go at different times just to pray, or, I'm a Sunday school teacher, and there's always something to be doing in the Sunday school class. There's always some cleaning or organizing, and there's a lot that goes into being a Sunday school teacher behind the scenes. I'm thankful that we have some other Sunday school teachers so that we rotate. That is really a blessing, because I have in the past been the only Sunday school teacher, not at this church, but back home. The only Sunday school teacher, and then there were other times where there was just me and another one. We rotated, and you get done one week and you think, oh, I don't teach next week. The other Sunday school teacher does. Before you know it, that week has gone by and your week is up again. And so I'm thankful that we have a couple other people, and so I'll teach this Sunday, in fact, is my Sunday, and then the next Sunday will be someone else, the next Sunday someone else, and then it will come back to me in my teacher's aide. So I really am thankful for that. Of course, if I had to be the only one again, I would do it, because it's a passion, and I've been teaching Sunday school over 30 years, or just at 30 years. I'd have to really stop and think, because it goes by fast. But I have worked with kids for a long time. I was, I guess, in my teens, and I volunteered at a Head Start back home, and then I volunteered at a YMCA on Saturday mornings with kids. It was a craft and cooking thing, just a couple hours, and we cooked things like one thing that I remember is we made peanut butter French toast. Boy, the kids loved that. And then we did little crafts. I was the assistant, but I've worked with kids for a long time in all ages. Sorry about that motorcycle. Hey, in the work of God, there's always something to do. I'll tell you that. And that's the way, that God wants it. I don't believe that God expects people just to be faithful to church and just sit on the pew like a bump on a log. I mean, if they're physically able to get involved and do some things, I really believe the Lord would be pleased if people did, because it pleases God and it encourages other people. That's just my feeling on it, and I'm thankful to be able to be involved. And I have been involved in church things ever since I fell in love with Jesus and been in church, which is over 30 years. I have, let's see, I already said I've taught Sunday school, and I have all ages through the years. There was a time I played the piano a little bit back home. I cleaned the church back home for years. I cleaned it, and I just loved it. I would just get in that church building and clean, and we had old wooden pews that had big cracks in them. I guess they came from someplace else, and I would use just a little bit of Old English on a white cloth, and I was so proud to polish up those pews. And if there was someone in the congregation that had been sick and had missed a service or two, when I got to where, I knew that they sat often or all the time, I would just get praying for that person and ask the Lord to touch them and make it so they could get back in church. And when they got back and sat in their seat, that they'd feel my prayers. And I would dust and polish the piano and the organ that we had and the pulpit, and I would pray for my pastor. I'd pray for the musicians when I got over to the instruments, and I just took my time cleaning the church. And I was a teenager. I was about 16, 17, and I cleaned the church up into my 20s, and I fell in love with it so much that at one point our church really started to grow, with families, and the pastor ended up making a church cleaning calendar so families could sign up, so it wouldn't just be on one person. But I didn't mind doing it, and so we switched it around, and so then I was a little older, like I said, in my 20s, and I would gather up the young people, the teenagers. If they didn't have a car, I would go pick them up. And if they did have a car, and if one could go pick up some of the others, we'd all meet at the church on a Saturday and would clean the church as a youth group. I wasn't over the young people, but it was just something I did, and asked them if they wanted to join in to get them involved. And they loved it too. Sure did. And so I did that while I was involved in Sunday school. And then later on, as the years went by, I helped to start a Spanish church in my city back home. It was just a young preacher and his wife. He was from El Salvador, and she was from El Salvador too, but she went to high school out in Boston. And then they had a 4-year-old little boy and me. That's all we had for church, and we'd have church in their little humble living room. They never even bought furniture. they put all their money in towards the work of God, and we would set up folding chairs in their living room, and he would preach like he had 100 people. And that was a great experience for me. We'd go out and talk to people, let them know, hey, we're starting a Spanish church here if you don't go anywhere or you want to come check us out. And what else? As time went on, our little group grew, and then we were able to rent out a storefront. And I happened to live right across the street from the little storefront that we rented out. So I used to clean the church, and that's where I was the only Sunday school teacher. But and then I was also the treasurer, and that was a big responsibility to record all the finances that came in and send the checks off for the rent, for the electric bill, go to the bank and deposit things and record all that. A big responsibility, but I'm thankful God trusted me with it, because I sure did learn a lot. And it has been just wonderful living for God. And hey, remember the Bible says Jesus was about his Father's business. That's what we all should be about. We ought to be about God's business. And if we are, God will take care of us. So 21 minutes, and I'm gonna shut this off and go in there and get what I need and then get home. I can show you this. What is it? I've started this morning. I really shouldn't have, because I have things to finish, but I'll tell you another time what it is. It's made out of velvet yarn that I had, and I have it here in the car because I went to the lake and I sat on a log. It wasn't pretty, me getting up off that log, but I sat on a log and was crocheting and had my notebook. But over by the water, it was windy, so I didn't want to call you up from there. So I figured I'd call you up from here. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Thanks so much for your comments and your support, and sharing me out. And I appreciate it. Appreciate all of you. So I'll be talking to you later. Enjoy the rest of your day. Remember to be kind to everybody, because somebody is having a bad day. And I'll talk to you later.